Don't concentrate on the finger or you will miss all that heavenly glory.
Many know the classics of old times, but more recent films may have been less thought of or even forgotten. I'll be taking a look at movies here made from 1990 and onwards. These are in no particular order. Coming in here at number 10 is The Northman. This was a hard choice between this and Gladiator, which is also an absolute must watch. But with just 10, I picked this one. Many may say this should never be on such a list, which is why I feel that's exactly why this needs to be on this list. I feel this is criminally underrated. I definitely came out of the cinema feeling like I've just experienced what life may have just been like at that period of time. Albeit an incredibly brutal one. The cinematography on show here is just absolutely breathtaking at times, and Alexander Skarsgård is phenomenal in this film as Amleth. So be sure to check this one out the next time you get a chance. Coming up next, number 9 is Parasite. Directed by Bong Joon-ho. It's a brilliant film and it deserves every single accolade that it has gotten. It's a really thought-provoking exploration of social class and the human condition with really captivating performances and stunning cinematography throughout the whole film. Don't be put off by the fact that it's subtitles. The acting is so good in here, you can kind of just understand what's going on with the facial expressions, but it's easy enough and you get used to it. Coming in at number 8, we get the amazing John Wick. In the world of action movies, especially in recent times, few action characters have made quite a mark, just like John Wick. With 3 being a slight disappointment, but overall fantastic action movies. Played by Keanu Reeves, this retired hitman has become a favourite of audiences around the world. And quite possibly my favourite action film of all time. That being a pretty bold statement, I'm aware, but I really enjoy the first John Wick. Known for its really stylish action, a great example of this will be the club scene. A real standout moment. The fight choreography is just second to none. So taking a little bit of a different turn here at number 7 is Infinity War. This movie was an absolute game changer in the world of superhero movies. It was the culmination of up to 10 years of storytelling and the build-up of the biggest villain of the universe, Thanos. It's probably the peak of this whole superhero craze that we're in at the minute, and pretty much all of the movies building up to this point was really quite impressive and possibly never to be repeated at the same high level. Endgame is actually the last and still great, but I prefer Infinity War as I like how the villain wins. So here we are staying with a superhero theme. We've got the Snyder Cut of Justice League. In my eyes, the official and only Justice League by Zack Snyder brings the beloved characters together for the big fight against Darkseid. After the absolute mess that was the other one, it was a huge relief to have this actually manage to come and release. After 4 hours, it is a true epic spectacle. So many fantastic moments for the fans of these heroes and glimpses of what could have been. Which unfortunately is my one gripe of this film. I want more. Unfortunately, it just probably won't be the case. But I feel lucky to have this version to look back on and not being stuck with the other one. Going a bit sci-fi now, we've got Blade Runner 2049. The sequel to the iconic Blade Runner takes us back to the dystopian future of Los Angeles 30 years after the events of the original, with absolutely stunning visuals and a really captivating story. For me, I think it's better than the original. Ryan Gosling as Kay does an astounding job, and I don't think it's as appreciated as it should be. The film unfortunately didn't do very well at the box office, which is possibly the biggest cinema crime of the century. The director Denis Villeneuve and all those individuals put so much love into the making of this. It's a huge shame that this is done. This is a sci-fi masterpiece and it's a one not to be missed. Going back in time now a little bit is Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. The first entry and introduction to the wizarding world. As a kid and a fan of the magical and fantastical, I was swept away into this world. It all just looked so incredible, especially for its time. With all the amazing cast, I thought it was just all real. If you want to be taken away to a whole other world to live in, with now 8 movies in the franchise, you can spend a lot of time living out your fantasy in Hogwarts. One of my absolute personal favourites, American Psycho. American Psycho. Got Christian Bale here, starring as Patrick Bateman, a wealthy investment banker and a sadistic serial killer. From the title and the controversy that is around the film, at least when it first came out, it's easy to forget that this film is actually hilarious. Yeah, it can be very brutal at times, but this film is very much a dark comedy, on top of being a brilliant psychological thriller as well, and the one I've seen too many times I think I'd like to mention. Next up here we have Saving Private Ryan, an absolute harrowing war film and the horrors of World War II. The movie's famous opening scene of the storm of Normandy is an absolute shock to the system the first time you see it. And pretty much that whole feeling just stays with you throughout. This is a really stark reminder to what soldiers would have had to deal with, and it never fails to make me rethink about things after each viewing. The movie follows Captain John Miller, played brilliantly by Tom Hanks, and they're on the search for Private Ryan, encountering so many difficult challenges and battles along the way. If you only see one war film, this is it. Getting in the Christmas spirit now a little bit, we'll have Home Alone, the remake.
My mum and dad have gone to Tokyo. I'm totally on my own.
Okay, that was a really bad joke. Kids, do not watch that. I'm of course talking about the original with Macaulay Culkin by John Hughes, the quintessential Christmas film. If we were talking about all the flicks, It's a Wonderful Life would probably be here, but talking more recent-ish times, Home Alone is where it's at. It works just so fantastically well because it's just so simple, filled with just hilarious moments, a perfect film for all of the family. But I want to hear from you, so what are some of your favourite films? Am I missing something here? Is there some films on here that you just can't believe I've actually put on the list? Let me know down below.
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, commander of the armies of the North, general of the Felix Legions, loyal servant to the true Emperor Marcus Aurelius, father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, and I will have my vengeance in this life or the next.